off the G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back. eSIMstudios live stream on this Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Hope everybody's having a good day. Let me check my audio real quick. Sounds pretty good. Let me take this earpiece out so I got two separate audio inputs coming in here, so it's kind of confusing. All right. Now, appreciate everybody for joining me. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Maybe look slightly different. Still dealing, moving around some cameras and some monitors and stuff like that. So that's why I may look like you're looking down at me, but it is all good. So got a new mini PC, so I'm kind of trying to figure out everything here. But hope everybody had a great weekend. We are inching closer to the S26 series being launched. Got some new interesting information throughout the weekend I want to dive into a little bit. The Motorola Signature that I ordered is, I think, a few days away. Just departed the customs over there, I believe in India, and it went through Italy, and now I think it's on the way to the US. So hopefully it'll be here at some point this week, because I'm dying to get my hands on that thing. So we have Samsung news, and it's a little bit low. Let's see here. Hang on, I can adjust my microphone. How about that? Does that sound a little better? I could turn down the volume as well here, which I probably should do. Let me check. Good. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I actually use this microphone when I do, like yesterday. It was a real short video. I had on yesterday's video that I recorded, that I put out about the, oh god, don't even get me started on the Pixel 10 series. I had a massive headache yesterday, really bad migraine. I'm surprised I even recorded anything. I was pushing through it. I don't think I went and watched the video this morning. I couldn't really tell, but I had a really bad headache yesterday. I get migraines a couple of months. I use this microphone. I need to put out some more videos. I can actually hook this microphone up to my phone and record. Audio sounds great, but I adjust the volume levels, so that's probably why it was down a little lower. So we're mainly going to get into Samsung stuff today, because we're inching closer to that time. I got case companies sending me cases here to do case reviews, and I'm going to do giveaways. I know a lot of people, some aren't, and that's fine, upgrading. And if you are upgrading to the S26 Ultra, I have cases here that I'm going to review. They're already starting to send me some, and I'm going to be giving them away, just like with the OnePlus 15. I only keep a handful of cases, like the ones I use on a daily basis or that I really, really like. I keep for myself, but all the other stuff I'm just going to give away. So stay tuned to the channel for that. And then, yeah, we might jump into the Pixel 10 series. I'm actually starting to think that the Pixel 9 is the way to go. Like, if you're looking to get into Pixel, buying a Pixel, using a Pixel, or if you have a Pixel 9, I wouldn't upgrade. Now, I'm gonna do a much bigger video, a review type of deal once I hit 200 charging cycles. Once I hit about 198, I'm gonna do a bunch of testing, charging speeds, how long it takes, current, and probably around 195 charging cycles. And then once I get to like 201, 202, 203 charging cycles, I'm going to test it all over again and see if they really did reduce charging speeds, reduce battery capacity, and combine that into one video. Probably take a few days to compile all the footage. But that's what, about 2 weeks away. And then, you know, well, I'm going to do a bunch of Motorola signature content. And if you want to buy one, where you can get one, because Motorola is selling them on their website, just not to US consumers. But there's a number of choices, and the prices have come way down since they were initially released. I think you can get one for like $660 now, which is a freaking steal on that thing. It looks badass. The only thing that sucks about getting a phone, from overseas where they don't specifically release it in the United States, are cases. If you're a big case user, accessory user like I am, if you go on Amazon and look for a Motorola signature case, there's like 2, maybe 3 cases. There's a clear, there's a black, and there's like a girly, sparkly one, right? So I went ahead and bought the black one. Y'all know I don't like clear cases, but I went ahead and bought the black one, so it should be here right around this week, same time as the phone. But I'm going to do I'll get to that when the time comes, but I think the Motorola signature is what the Pixel should have been if everything played out the way us users wished it would play out. I think the Motorola signature is everything a Pixel wishes it could be. But we'll save that for another day. So I'm live streaming vertical and horizontal. So if you click the wrong live stream and you're seeing me in the vertical, I hate vertical. Just to be honest with you, I completely hate vertical video. So, well, why are you streaming in vertical? Well, I'm actually streaming both. I'm doing the horizontal layout, typical like watching a movie, horizontal. But I'm also doing a portrait, a vertical. StreamYard, you can now stream simultaneously a vertical and a horizontal. If you click the wrong one and you see the vertical, simply go to my page, select my icon that's on your screen, scroll over to the live section. In one of those 2 lives, I'm horizontal. It's better for channel growth if you stream in vertical. So that's why I'm doing it. Now, the one main reason why I hate vertical, and we'll get the Samsung news here in just a second, is you can't play the video and or audio with the screen off. So a lot of times when I'm running around town, running errands, or just doing chores around the house, you can listen to a YouTube video with the screen off, right? So you turn your screen off, put it in your pocket, you can still listen to the stream. When it's in vertical, you cannot do that. You have to have your screen on. Or what if I'm doing something and I want to stick my phone in my pocket, right? Or whatever. It won't let you do that. So that's why I hate verticals. But anyways, let's jump in to the S26 Ultra. Now, the thumbnail in my title states this might not be the upgrade a lot of users were hoping for. And if you have an S25, if you have an S24 or an S23 series, and you were thinking about upgrading, this is probably good news because you're really not missing out on much. So we've gotten a lot of things confirmed as we inch closer to February 25th. But one of the things we do not have confirmed, and it looks like it's not going to come to fruition, is Bluetooth S Pen. So I went through a bunch of material over the weekend because that's one piece of information we just haven't heard, right? I got word, I don't know, 3-4 months ago that Bluetooth S Pen was coming back. So I just stored that in the back of my brain thinking, well, that's badass, right? Like Bluetooth S Pen. And I know Samsung put the numbers out. I know the numbers say a lot of people don't use the S Pen, but those that do use it, we really miss Bluetooth, right? I use my S Pen a lot. I edit videos on my phone. I make thumbnails on my phone, all sorts of stuff. So I'm a heavy S Pen user. And yeah, I didn't use Bluetooth all the time when using the S Pen, but it's a feature that like no other phone has, right? Oh, by the way, the Motorola Signature, stylus input. So they have a S Pen for the Motorola Signature. I'm going to purchase and review that as well. But getting back to the S26 Ultra, that's one thing that we haven't got anything confirmed. Now, I have a list of upgraded items you can expect on this S26 Ultra. And let me put it in a different, is that a little better? Maybe it's a little harder to see on the vertical, but on the horizontal, let me move this. So check this out. If you go look up online and you look for S26 specs, there's a whole bunch of content you can sift through and sort through, right? I went through a ton of information this weekend, specifically looking for confirmation for Bluetooth S Pen. Could not find anything. And I think that's a bad sign. I think that's not good news. And take a look at these specs. So here's the S26 Ultra. Huge upgrades. Is it? I would say no. But depending on how you look at it, it might be. But let's run through them real quick. So there's a faster, more efficient chip. Okay. That's probably the biggest upgrade. I'm going to be completely honest with you. On the S26 Ultra is the CPU, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, right? It's more faster. It's more efficient. So that's probably the biggest upgrade you're going to see. Now, if you are completely fine, right? Like Bradley over here that's got an S24 Ultra. If you're completely fine with how fast your phone is, I'm talking about fluidity, just doing normal tasks like what you do on your phone on a daily basis. If it's not slow, if it's not sluggish, if it doesn't stutter, what's the problem? If you don't game like I do, and if you don't render 4K videos like I do, sure, the S24 Ultra it'll blaze through video editing way better than a Pixel can. So you know, what I'm trying to get to is if you don't have any issues performance-wise with your S24 Ultra, it's probably the biggest thing that you're going to want to ask yourself. Are you a gamer? You might think about upgrade. Are you a content creator? Do you edit 4K videos? You might want to think about upgrading. If not, what's the point? Because let's roll through these other ones. Check this out. Bigger cooling system. Yes, they're going to put a bigger vapor chamber, right? Okay, we expect that. Bigger apertures for main and 5x telephoto. Is that really going to make a difference? No. New 3x telephoto. Okay, that's the one sensor that they're actually upgrading on a whole of these sensors on this phone. Not a big deal. New 24 megapixel shooting resolution alongside 50 megapixel and 200 megapixel. It's just, that's not a new sensor. There's not a new 24 megapixel sensor on there. What they're doing is just basically binding the pixels. I'm not going to go down that path, but it's just a new way to compose a picture, right? They can essentially manipulate the pixels, same sensor. You're going to get a wider selfie camera. So it'll just, on the front facing selfie camera, when you switch it into the wide angle mode, it'll just get a little bit wider, maybe fit one half of a person in the display like this instead of this. Right? Like, okay. New display glass. Okay, so maybe I'll right up there with the CPU. I just said that might be the biggest upgrade. You're right, I totally whiffed. The display is probably their biggest selling feature. You're going to see tons of marketing material on the new privacy display, and that's really cool. But look, it's one of those things where it's like, is it worth you trading in your S24 Ultra? Like Bradley, if you go to Samsung when they release these S26 Ultras, trade-in value for the S24 Ultra, I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm just throwing it out there, $400. Is that worth paying essentially $800-900 on top of trading in your S24 Ultra just to get this new privacy display? And let's be honest, how often are you going to use it? It is a badass feature, but do you ride the subway? I don't. Or what about going to games like in a stadium? Even if you're a kid who plays high school football, right? Are you in the stadium? Do you have a lot of people sitting next to you, random people behind you, over your shoulder? Me? No. Like, okay, grocery store maybe, but you can tell if somebody's snooping on your phone, right? Like, it's a badass feature. I just don't think many people are going to use. If you ride the subway, it's a different story. If you live in New York City, it's a different story. If you ride public transportation, it's a different story. But if you're at home, go to the office, go to the gym, I don't think you're going to use it that much. Now, the M14 OLED panel, yeah, that goes in. The 10-bit color display, yes, that goes in with the display. Privacy screen we just talked about. Improved anti-reflective layer. That's cool, right? But the other ones have it, right? S24 has it. Faster 60-watt wire charging. I did a video about that last week. You only get 3 in real world testing. It's only 3% faster. So don't let that number trick you that, ooh, the new faster 60-watt wire charging. It's only 3% faster. Like how long it takes you to go from 0 to 100 or 0 to 75%. The new 60-watt wired charging is only 3 minutes. Is it 3 minutes or 3%? I think it's 3 minutes faster to 75%. So, okay. Faster 25-watt wireless charging. We're going to get to that in just a second. We got news on the wired charging, and it's not good. New wireless charging 2.0 integration. Kind of true, kind of not, which we're going to get to. Thinner and lighter body. That's one cool thing I'm going to look forward to. It's going to be a lighter and it's going to be thinner, right? Ever since having S25 Edge, it blows my mind on how Apple continually makes their Pro Maxes heavier, bigger, bulkier, literally every year. And I don't want that. I want mine to be lighter. I want mine to be thinner. You're going to be amazed at this Motorola Signature. It's roughly 6 millimeters thick. It's the size of an S25 Ultra. But it's very thin and it only weighs like 180 grams, like 20 to 30% less than the S25 Ultra. So always look forward to thinner and lighter devices. Faster memory on all configurations, that's a big deal. But just your daily average user, you're not going to notice that. That's for gaming, that's for rendering, content creation, and stuff like that, right? They're going to get 16 gigs of RAM only on the 1 terabyte model. On the 256 and 512, you're still getting 12 gigs of RAM. I might get the 1 terabyte model, but Jesus, that's expensive. Reworked S Pen slot and top design. A new Galaxy AI feature set improvements for existing users. I don't use that much AI. Like, honestly, I don't. I do, but it's for very specific things, right? It's not, I'm using AI to do this, AI to do that. It hasn't revolutionized my daily life and how I go about, activities. No, I honestly, I could do without AI. So going through these, yes, thank you. That's one thing they didn't mention on there. Aluminum, which I like. I did not like titanium. Unfortunately, they're copying Apple, but this moving from a titanium S25 Ultra to a aluminum S26 Ultra has its advantages. Two main advantages, well, I guess three. So one, it's lighter, it weighs less. Two, heat dissipation, it dissipates heat faster than titanium does. And three, it's cheaper. So it was a no-brainer for Samsung to just go back to aluminum. I prefer aluminum. The whole titanium thing that Apple's making a big deal about, it's BS, right? I prefer aluminum. As you all know, my S25 Ultra, when we first got these, they all got hot as hell. And guess what? It's filled with titanium. So aluminum will help with heat dissipation. It's cheaper for Samsung. And I think that's where we get into the no Bluetooth S Pen. So out of all those stats you see there on the screen, there's no Bluetooth. Now, Bluetooth S Pen. Now, I think we would have heard by now if Samsung was going to put Bluetooth in these. And one of the reasons why I think they're not putting Bluetooth in here is money. So a lot of these decisions, not just Samsung, Apple, OnePlus, Xiaomi, Google, they all have a price point they want to sell these at. They all have a profit margin that they're trying to achieve. And if they can't fit every single top-notch a specification in these phones, they have to start eliminating stuff. That's just a fact of life, right? So I think the Bluetooth S Pen got the cut because, for one, you got to put a couple of components in there. For two, you have to get Bluetooth certification. Now, we've seen a couple of certifications come through for the the S26 Ultra, and the Bluetooth S Pen was not one of them. I went and looked back at this time last year when we were anticipating the the S24 Ultra release. Bluetooth certification, we got word of that about 6 weeks before the Unpacked event. So if the S26 Ultra was going to have Bluetooth certification, we would have gotten word from FCC leaks that Bluetooth was certified for the S Pen. We have not gotten that yet. So I think it just comes down to cost cutting measures. And just like, again, Bradley spitting out facts all day here, it's going to be interesting for the price. So the lower models are going to get more expensive, and the Ultra is going to get cheaper, or at worst stay the same price. Now that's good for the people that buy the Ultra series, like me. I'm sure like some of you. That sucks for people that like the cheaper versions, the S26, the S26 Plus. I have some articles here that we will pull up, but it looks like they're not going to raise the price. And I think I reported a few times they were going to raise the price $100. And at that time, I think that when that news leaked out, they probably anticipated raising the price $100. Then I got word, well, it's going to be a price increase, but a slight price increase. So I was like, okay, what are we talking about? Like $50 here? You know, that I think people wouldn't be too much of an outcry. But now it looks like that they're not going to raise the price at all, and they may surprise us by lowering the price, maybe $50. Right? I'll pull that info up here in just a second. I hope Samsung put more attention to ergonomics. S25 body is heavy and unhandy. I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm going to pull up this website here that shows everybody just that. I found this is what I was looking for, and I think what you're looking for as well. Every single design change, it's going to look very similar, but they did make some subtle changes. I think it will make people that actually like holding these phones, using these phones without a case, more enjoyable. All right. For one thing, right off of the bat, it's going to be lighter. You will love that. The lighter something is, the better. There's nothing worse than when you just wake up or when you're going to bed and you're holding the phone over your face, and you know what happens next. Hit you right between the eyes, and that sucks. But you're right. After having a number of phones from a bunch of different manufacturers, I'm going to be completely, y'all know how much I hate iPhone, right? Or Apple. The iPhone is one of the most, it's a little heavy, but I'm just talking about the way it feels in your hand, the curves. The iPhone 17 Pro is probably one of the better feeling phones just holding it. Now, it is heavy, but if you could find just that right blend of the way it feels and the weight, if you have not used an S25 Edge, you may not know what I'm talking about, but S25 Edge users, you know what I'm talking about. When you pick it up, it feels like it's hollow. It feels like it's empty. It feels like a dummy phone. That's the first thing. Like, whoa, what the hell? Is this hollow in here? Using a lightweight phone goes so overlooked, and I'm glad that you did bring this up. So thank you. We're gonna look into it right now. Yes. So their trade-in deals. I don't think I put an independent video in regards to this out. But let me explain to you why they are potentially going to not really sweeten the deal when it comes to trade-ins. So as we talked about money-wise, when they make these phones, any phone, but specifically for the S26 series, you have a certain price you're going to sell it at for Samsung. You have a certain profit margin, meaning profit that you want to make on a per device basis. and the components that go into that device. And I'm going to get to the trade-ins, but this is the thought process that these companies that go into trade-ins, right? So you have components that the prices are rising, right? They source parts from here, they source parts from there. Samsung does make a lot of their own parts, which is good, but not all of them. All these components, all these parts add up, right? And when it goes to a point that the S26 Ultra, where they're starting to worry it's cutting into our profit margin too much, well, part of how trade-ins work is they take a hit on your trade-in. So if they offer you more money for your trade-in, they're taking a hit on the back end because they have to turn around and sell that device for a profit as well, right? So if they're losing money a little bit, a little more, so just for example, let's say that the just per device profit that they made for the S25 Ultra was like $500. Let's say that the profit margin Samsung's trying to hit for the S26 Ultra is going to be lower. The profit per device is, let's say it's going to be like $450 because the component costs are rising, but they don't want to raise the cost on the phone. Well, they're taking a hit. They're taking a slight loss on the trade-ins because they have to turn around and sell them. So I'm hoping this kind of makes sense. Them offering you less for your trade-in helps them on the back end with the profit on the S26 Ultra. Basically is what it comes down to. I probably over-explain things, but that's basically what it comes down to. Now, that's why they might not offer as much for your trade-in. That was one of the things I loved about Samsung. They had some of the, probably the best trade-in deals, trade-in offers. They'll give you a ton of money. Back when the S22, when I got the S22 Ultra, I think I only paid like $200, right? Trade in your S21 Ultra, pay a couple $100, and you get your new phone. Obviously, you got to trade in your old one. But as time goes on, I think for this one that I got, I think I had to shell out, I don't know, an extra $400 with the trade-in. So you can see how in this year they're probably going to offer less. I've gotten rumors that they are going to offer less this year. We're not going to know until February 25th. But stick around. When February 25th does come, I'm going to go through the ordering process with everybody. And we'll go through probably what looks to be the best deals. They'll have carrier deals. You can upgrade through a carrier on Samsung. They may offer more for iPhone users. I have no idea, but stay tuned and we will look into that extensively here in the near future. Thank you for that question. But I've heard the trading deals aren't going to be as good as they have in the past. So just be mindful of that. Your iPhone broke and its battery won't charge. That sucks. Go to your local, depending on what year it is, you can go through Apple. If you have, Apple Care, or go to a local repair shop. They should be able to help you out with that. Now, if the battery won't charge, depending on what year it is, try wireless. If you always plug it in, maybe the charging port's broke, but guess what? That's not the only way to charge it. Try the wireless charger, or vice versa. If you always wirelessly charge it, it won't work anymore. Try to plug it in. See what I'm saying? See if that'll work. Yes. Yeah, I do too. I like it. It's my daily driver right now. So that and Pixel. But I can't believe Pixel's gonna screw all of us after these 200 charging cycles. Just wait. I'm gonna blast them. Google, I'm gonna blast you, and this 200 charging cycle thing is just insane to me. It really bothers me. Actually had me thinking this weekend, I'm just gonna sell my Pixel 10 series and go grab a Pixel 9. Like, seriously? Okay, so let's do this. Samsung is smart not giving the rights to Corning to sell the anti-reflective glass to others. I would not either. That's a badass feature, and Apple's does not compare on the iPhone 17 series. Does not compare to Samsung. Samsung is just that much better than others. So let me do this. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So where are we at? We're at the 31 minutes. All right, we'll go for a few more minutes. Check this out. Here is another fact that we're starting, or another rumor that's starting to emerge, that's starting to make me wonder, is this really an upgrade? Because with the magnets, so I referenced the magnets earlier in that list of upgrades. Here's one thing that looks like fool's gold. So will it be wireless standard 2.0? Yes. However, is the S26 Ultra going to have magnets in the back of the phone like an iPhone and like a Pixel 10? No. It is not. So it'll be wireless standard 2.0. It'll fast charge wirelessly, right? I think, what is it, 25 watts now? But it's not just going to stick on a wireless, it's not just going to stick onto a wireless charger like that. You're going to have to put a case on it. And that's something else that's coming out, because when I got confirmation of this today, because I dug into the no Bluetooth S Pen, and it looks, that's not confirmed, but it looks 99% true that we're not going to get Bluetooth S Pen. And now that I saw this morning, I was like, all right, well, I know what I'm going to do my stream on today. Is it that much of an upgrade? I don't believe it is, right? Of course, there are a few things it's going to have new over the S25 series, but is it enough? Is it enough to make you upgrade, right? Now, I am, just because I have a YouTube channel, but if I'm going to be completely honest with the viewers, if I did not have a YouTube channel, I don't think I would upgrade. I'm just being serious. I honestly don't believe I would. But that's just me, right? Let's see here. So we got confirmation here. I'm going to link, I don't think I have these linked into my video description. If you want to check this out in detail, I'm going to when this is done, come back about in a few minutes. As soon as it's over, I'm going to put this, shame on me, I should have done this. I'm going to link this in the video description when we're done, right? But this article explains why they're not going to put wireless, or excuse me, why they're not going to put magnets in the back of the device. Because it says, and I'm just going to read a little text here, not the whole thing, just a paragraph. Check this out. So leaks have continued. There's been more and more debut around doubt around whether the S26 series will actually have magnets inside. I've been going back and forth personally, but a new leak tells pretty clear that that story is not true, that the S26 series will not have native wireless standard 2.0 magnets inside. So here's the proof, or here's the theory. Alongside revealing the new details, blah, 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 this latest leak shows off first-party Samsung cases for the S26, both in magnetic and non-magnetic varieties. Put simply, the existence of a non-magnetic case from Samsung for these new phones just about rules out the native magnets, the native wireless standard charge 2.0 support with those magnets inside the phone. The magnets inside of a phone with wireless 2.0 support work great when there's no case, but a case of any real thickness loosens the magnets to a point where accessories such as mounts, wallets, etc. don't have enough strength and they need to stay properly adhered. As such, phones with actual wireless standard 2.0 support have magnets in virtually every single case, especially the first party cases. So if you go back, and I was like, when I saw this, I was like, damn, is that true? And so I got on the Apple website, I got on Amazon, and I got on the Google website and and looked at official Pixel 10 cases on Amazon, and that's true. Every single case, official cases for the iPhone 17 series, of course they go back farther, but I just looked at the iPhone 17 cases, official cases, and the Pixel 10 cases, the official cases. Every single one of them have magnets in there. And so that's true. Just the simple fact that Samsung is selling official non-magnet ring cases is a telltale sign that it will support wireless standard 2.0, but it's not going to have the magnets in the back of the phone. So I was like, damn, that really does make sense. And I went back and looked, and I was like, holy shit, that is very true. So that sucks. And going to S Pen. So the S Pen's leaked, and here you can see, let me get a better picture here. Well, I guess not. I guess that was the only one. You're going to get 2 S Pen colors, which kind of sucks, right? Maybe y'all can help me. What year of a S Pen Samsung phone and I don't know the answer, I'm asking you, but I know there's one where the S Pen color matched the color of that device. Meaning, if I have a white S25 Ultra, I'll have a white S Pen. Or if you have the black S25 Ultra, you get the black pen. Or you have a light violet or a purple S26 Ultra, will it have a purple S Pen? We finally found out today that it's just going to be black or white. So if you get the white S26 Ultra, you're going to get a white S Pen. If you get the blue S26 Ultra, you're going to get a white S Pen. If you get the purple S26 Ultra, you're going to get a black S Pen. And if you get the black S26 Ultra, you're going to get a black S Pen. So 2 of those are going to color match. 2 are not, right? If you get the black one, you'll get a matching black S Pen. If you get a white one, you'll get a white matching S Pen. So those leaked today. Now, crazy, right? Like, now, okay, so real quick, before I got a couple other subjects we're going to get into, I'm going to try to get to before we get out of here. So I may move pretty fast, but I do want to hit on this. Thank you for bringing this up. And I did not mention, why would they do this? Why would Samsung not put in built-in magnets into the back of the phone? Well, I just off the top of my head, price, right? They're already pinching pennies, trying to cram as many specs in here as they can for, trying to maximize their profit margin. Price, but you would think magnets, right? Like, really? Yeah, look, it's possibility price got them cut out. It could be the size of the phone. They actually made it thinner this year and lighter. That could go into play with them deciding not to do that. And it could have interfered with, I doubt it, but some of the components in the back. Look, I don't know, but price and it just getting slimmer. They don't have the room in there, maybe, but then, some other phones are around the same size or smaller that have the magnets in there. So, of course, the Pixel phones are kind of thick. They're not a slim phone by any means. And you say, well, Apple, with the iPhones, they're thick phones, right? They get thicker and heavier seemingly every year. So, oh yes, thank you. I knew I was missing something. I think that makes sense. The magnets interfere with the S Pen writing. That is true, because I found that out on one of my older devices with an S Pen. I think actually all 3, honestly, but I knew I was missing one. So it does interfere with the S Pen, with the functionality of it. So with all those 3 options, that's probably why they removed it. Yes, I saw that battery pack. Yep, I know it does. Depending on how you hold your hand, it can cram into the side of your finger. The S24 and S25 just need the magnetic case. It can interfere with Bluetooth. That's why Samsung dropped it. Very true. Now, look at this. What else do we got? So, I'm going to put this out there. If you're not going to upgrade, or you're kind of on the fence, if you want to upgrade to the S26 series and or Ultra, and you're going to hold out, I don't blame you, right? Just not as many upgrades as you would like. Still kind of the same phone, just looks a little different. And I'm going to get to the looks. Let me just jump into this real quick, because I think the S27 Ultra this time next year is where the upgrade is going to be. You're going to see a lot more upgrades on the S27 Ultra. There's a new article, and there's a number of articles on this new S27 Ultra. I know the 26 hasn't released yet, but there's a lot of information on the S27 series. So Samsung's putting in on the S27 series something called Polar ID. Now, Polar ID is essentially their version of Face ID. It's like Apple's Face ID, and they're going to implement it on your S27 Ultra. I don't know if it's going to the S27 or S27 Plus. I'm assuming it will, but it looks like the Ultra is confirmed for this new Polar ID. It's a more advanced version of Face ID. It's faster, and it's smaller than Apple's Face ID sensor. So that's going to be cool. Should be more secure, scan your face faster. This is confirmed for the S27 Ultra. I did a video on this maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. And it has a graphic here of how it works. I'm not going to get into it, but I will link it down below. But I just wanted to use this as an example of, I think the S27 Ultra is going to be probably the upgrade you're going to want to move to. I've gotten word that they are going to change the way it looks. I don't think it's going to be drastic, but I think you're going to see they've been on this design with the S25 Ultra, with the S24 Ultra, S23 Ultra, S22 Ultra for a few years, and I think it may be time for a change. I like the way it looks, but I think Samsung, I've gotten word that they're going to change something. I just don't know what. So it'll look a little different. We're going to have better features for this new Polar ID, this new Face ID, just for one as an example. So I think that's going to be the one to get. And they are going to upgrade all new camera sensors. So there's that, right? Just that alone will entice people to upgrade. So, but look, we got a year to examine this in full detail. Now, it's interesting because Samsung has already started the production process, meaning the warehouses are already starting to make these and box them up and get ready for launch. They do this a couple months before launch, and they've already started. But what's interesting with this is the numbers, how much they're producing of what model. And it's really telling because now we have numbers just on what they're producing. And check this out. Out of 3.6 million devices they've made so far of the S26 series, 73% of the 3.6 million units have been the S26 Ultra. I'm sorry, so 3.6 million units of the S26 Ultra plus how many? Let's see. So you got about 4.2. So they've got about 5 million S26 series devices that have been produced, right? You got 3.6 plus 700,000 plus 600,000. Yeah, 4.9 million. So they've essentially got 5 million S26 series devices made in total that they've already pushed out. 3.6 million of those are the Ultra. 73% of those 5 million produced already are the Ultra series. So it just goes to show that they know exactly what's their big money earner, and it's certainly not the smaller devices. I like the smaller devices. I've used one as my webcam for this channel for about a year. Not now, but when I first started it. They're great little phones to have, even if you just need a second device. But if you even had to use it as your main device, it's a good phone. But we all know what gets the attention, what gets the clicks, what people want. It's the biggest and the best, and certainly their Ultra model. So it's interesting to see those numbers, right? Now, before we go into the design, we got new official renders that leaked right before this video, right before I went live. And we got your purple one here. I think these are new. At least Android Headline said that they were new. So here's your purple one. I think we've all seen that. Here's it from the side. From the other side, there's the black model. not that big news. There we go. Blackwood looks nice, but you know, not that much different. Let's get into the body. So I want you to check this out. I pulled up a good article here that shows exactly, they compare it with the, check this out. There's a good article here on Sammy fans. I'll link down below when this is done. You can get a good size comparison. So the S25 Ultra is in the background. The S26 Ultra is in the front. And you can see right here, seems to be a little shorter, seems to be a tiny bit narrower, but it does have those more rounded corners, right? If you just glance at them, they basically look the same, right? But when you put them side by side, which is what Sammy fans, this article on Sammy fans has done. They've taken official renders and they've sized them up so you can kind of see just how the size, the look, the feel, a little more rounded. As you can tell, you have the camera island around sort of like the Fold 7 here. Now the dimensions, it's going to be a little bit thinner and a little bit lighter, and I love that. I think the thinner it is, the better. The lighter it is, the better. S Pen does look a little slimmed down, quite honestly. If those two pictures renders are the same, meaning aspect ratios, I guess the S Pen on the right, which is the new one, does look a little thinner. Pretty interesting. So I don't know, depending on if you have the S25 Ultra or not, how it looks, excuse me, how it feels in the hand. I mean, will it be that much different? Probably not. But we're gonna get one. I still don't know what color. I don't know. I'm definitely not getting purple. I'll tell you that. But I think we're gonna get two. I'm gonna get one, and I think my wife is gonna get one. She gets one every year just to try them out. We send them back, but I think we're gonna get two this year. I think we'll get a white and a probably a white and a blue. I don't know. Well, depending on how good the black looks, that Phantom Black, the Samsung exclusive Phantom Black on the S25 Ultra, man, that looks nice. So depending on how the shade of this black looks, I might get that, but I'm not sure yet. Probably either the black or the white, but just to get a matching S Pen, but it is what it is. So check this out. I was gonna get into, we're rolling up on an hour here. I probably need to get on up out of here. But we did get word of a new Samsung Galaxy Tab S12 series. There's a new Galaxy Watch Ultra 2, a new Galaxy Watch 9 on the way. Now, they do have differences in the models. I guess I can go ahead and get into it, but the noticeable changes, not much difference here, right? There's no, oh my God, look at this upgrade, or look at this, look at that. Relatively gonna look the same, maybe with a couple refresh specs inside, nothing major, but something with the models in the tablet series. There's news that the Plus is going to return. So if you remember on the S11 series, they only had the small one or the Ultra, right? They did away with the Plus model. This year, they're doing the opposite. They're getting away with, they're adding the Plus model in there as well. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they take it out, bring it back. They give us an edge. They take it away. They tell us it's coming back for a second. I don't know. It's confusing, but you do get a return of the Plus model this year. And you do get new watches. Now, I don't know the release of these. Now that we're seeing this come out, I think we would have seen this earlier. I think they're wearables for a period of time. They used to release with the Galaxy S lineup years ago. And I think they launched their wearables, their tablets, their watches all in the summer with the foldables, I believe in July. So I think because like me, I'm like, well, damn, if I get the S25 Ultra, are they going to have new watches they're going to bundle it with? We know we're going to get new earbuds, right? That they'll bundle with the S26 Ultra, the Buds 4 Pro and Buds 4. So I'm sure they'll be throwing those out for free, hopefully, wink, wink, if you upgrade. But I think these wearables, meaning the watch and a tablet, I think are going to be released in July. Not sure, but you know, it is what it is. Yes, thank you. Yours too. Yeah. That's another thing, right? The battery. So on my S25 Ultra, I'm getting horrible battery life. Now I'm on the beta program, One UI 8.5 beta, which may have a issue. To be honest with you, I haven't really looked into it. I'm getting a new one here next month, so honestly, it doesn't really bother me that much. So I'm going to trade it in here in a month. So I'm like, what's the point? But I'm plugging it in quite a bit, right? I'm charging it up at least 2 times a day, which is not normal. Maybe due to the beta program, maybe not, but you're really not going to see. I think I will see a battery improvement just because I think this one's jacked up with the software in the battery. So I'm probably going to get better battery life with the S26 Ultra. But is it going to be drastic? No. Is it going to be on OnePlus level? No. They're just bumping it up like 200 milliamp hours. Now, one thing you will see it be more efficient is obviously the CPU, but the display. So the Pixel battery life drastically got better with the Pixel 10 series because Google is using a new Samsung display in these Pixel 10 series, and it just sips on that power. I mean, it barely uses any power for the display anymore, which the S25 Ultra doesn't have, right? Now the S26 Ultra is getting that new Samsung display, and it's just barely going to sip on the power. You're going to have a more efficient CPU. So I think it will get better battery life, but is it going to be are you going to see people bragging about it? No, you're not. So, you know, stay tuned to the channel. We're definitely going to cover this. Appreciate everybody for sticking around and examining this with me. I'm going to link everything down below in the description. So give me a couple of minutes, come back to here if you're interested in those articles, and I'll link them down below. With that being said, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. I really appreciate the time, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.